Cincinnati head coach Tommy Tuberville. The Bearcats are 8-2 overall, 5-1 in the American Athletic Conference. Cincinnati was in action this past Saturday at Rutgers. Cincinnati won the game 52-17. And as we just said, Cincinnati at Houston this Saturday, noon Eastern Time on ESPN News. Coach, thanks for joining us on the call this week. If you could take a minute to tie up the solid win at Rutgers on Saturday and tell us what you look forward to as you hit the road again to face Houston.
Thank you. We obviously played pretty good on the road. That's our best road game of the year. And we're getting better as a football team. I think our team's maturing in terms of what we want to play, how we want to play on offense and defense and special teams. We played with a lot of emotion Saturday. There's no doubt that Brandon had the best day he's had since being a Bearcat. Our quarterback going for 405 yards. We mixed it up pretty good. We had two other guys throw passes, but it was a fun day. We got off to a very good start. Our defense played well. This is the first game that we've gone through where we haven't had significant injuries, luckily. And coming down the end of the season in November, that's pretty important. We did have our center that tweaked his ankle. He could have come back in the game, but he did not because the score was out of hand at that time. So he'll be ready to go. But other than that, it was great motivation for us the way we played in November. We've been stressing that as we've been going through the season. We want to improve each game, and I think we've done that. Now we've got a tough game going on the road again to Houston, a team that's also playing very well. They've had a couple of setbacks, but they played two of the better teams in the conference and played them down to the wire. And I'm sure they're wanting to get back to the field as we are this Saturday.
Any questions for Coach Tuberville, please? Hit *1 on your telephone to join the queue. The operator will introduce you.
And we'll hear from Tom Groshen with Cincinnati Enquirer.
Hello there, Coach.
Morning, Tom.
Hi. Looking at Houston a little bit, looking at some of the numbers, one thing that jumps out is they're number one in the nation in turnovers, turnover margin. I'm sure you're aware of that, and just talk about what that means. Playing on the road, that's going to be important it's obviously important to take care of the ball, but maybe more so this week.
Yeah, they're very quick. And David Gibbs used to work with me at Auburn, and the year that he was defensive coordinator with me there, I think we did very well in the same area of turnovers. And he stresses that, stripping the ball, being around the ball, getting 11 people around the football as fast, as quick as you can. And, they got the type of people to do that. They're not the biggest team in the conference, but they're probably the fastest and quickest team, most athletic. So we'll have to protect the football. We'll have to be concerned about that. But, again, you've got to go out and play. You can't, knowing that everybody turns the ball over. We just need to be able to win our share on both sides.
Would you talk a little bit, too, about Coach Levine, obviously a coach for you, too, and what you remember about him when you were at Auburn?
Yeah, Tony worked for me back in the early 2000s, I guess it was, and I knew he was going to have a chance to move up. He's a hard worker, dedicated, loves football. Actually met his wife there in Auburn at the same time, and since then they've got a nice family. But Tony's been in the NFL and works as an assistant and was in the right place at the right time there at Houston, did a great job of coaching and recruiting, won the hearts over of the people there at Houston, and they moved him up, rightly so, and I'm proud of Tony. I feel like I had a little bit of part of him moving up in the ranks of having a chance to be around us there at Auburn, around some good coaches, but, he's earned it. His work ethic is outstanding, and he's a good people person. He'll do a great job there at Houston. He's in a good place to build and continue to win games, and I wish him the best other than one game a year, obviously.
Yeah, thank you.
And next I'll move to Joey Johnston with Tampa Tribune.
Yeah, Coach, a few weeks back you played against SMU and Garrett Gilbert. Just wonder if you could speak about the defensive challenge of taking on Garrett Gilbert and the way SMU plays on offense, how much stress it plays on a defense, and how you go about stopping those guys or slowing them down.
Well, we didn't stop him or slow him down. I tell you, he's the best that we've seen to this point, and we've still got two quarterbacks to play that are very good. But He's one of the better quarterbacks that we've had to defense, and I've had to defense in the last few years. He's a senior, number one. He's experienced. He gets the ball out of his hand quick. He's got receivers that can catch the football. You can't stop them. You just got to be able to slow them down and be able to keep them off the field as much as you can. They've got a coach in Hal Mummy, offensive coordinator, that knows how to throw the football. And they've got a head coach in June Jones that wants to throw the football, that also knows how to throw it. So they've got good schemes. They've got good players, and they can put up some big numbers. And, you know, I knew going into that game a couple of weeks ago that was going to be a tough game for us, and it was. It didn't disappoint us, but we were very fortunate to limit their possessions and us be able to score on offense. You just got to outscore them. You're not going to shut them down or shut them out. It's just almost impossible because he's too good and too experienced.
Thank you.
And next I'll move to Joseph Gerard with Houston Chronicle.
Morning, Coach.
Morning.
I was wondering if you could just, what you've seen from Houston's young quarterback, John O'Corn, and kind of the passing game that they have between him and number 3, Deontay Greenberry, if anything kind of jumps out at you watching them on film.
You know, I've watched John last year in high school. He one of his top receivers is one of my receivers here, Mark Barr, at St. Thomas Aquinas. Mark was the kid that was in a serious car incident this past year, past fall, and just now is starting to rehab and out of the hospital. And they were very close. Matter of fact, John sent a lot of texts to Mark while he was in the hospital during his recovery. But you know, he's a typical quarterback that he's a big kid that understands the passing game. He's got a lot of poise for a freshman. He uses the receivers. He's obviously got one very good one there that has made a lot of catches over 1,000 yards. That's very impressive for a kid that's just out of high school. But he's got a huge upside to him. He'll get better and better. I think their offensive coaches there have done an excellent job of bringing him along slowly, not asking him to do a whole lot more than he can handle. And that's how you do a young quarterback. You know, they're able to run the ball some, they throw it, they play action, they get the ball deep some, they throw short passes, and so they're doing a very good job. Tony knows how to coach a quarterback. He understands it. So I've coached against Houston a few years ago when Kevin Sumlin was there, pretty much the same offense, and it's very explosive. And with this kid at quarterback, it's just going to get better and better. They got a lot of young kids and a lot of quickness on their team, a lot of athletic ability. So they're not going to just have a good team this year. They're going to have good teams years to come.
Thank you.
And do you have any other questions for Coach Tuberville, please? Coach, thanks for your time this week. Look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Thank you.
All right, and that is Cincinnati at Houston, noon Eastern Time. That will be on ESPN News.